In the heart of the vast savannah, where the land stretches endlessly beneath a sky painted with fire and gold, stood an ancient acacia tree. The village elders whispered that it held the voices of the ancestors, a sacred place where spirits lingered. Few dared to stay long beneath its sprawling branches, but two hearts did, and their love would challenge everything the village believed, shaking the very foundations of their traditions. Najani was the daughter of a healer. She was a quiet, thoughtful young woman, known throughout the village for her kindness and the gentle wisdom that seemed to belay her years. Her hands could soothe fevers and mend wounds, a gift respected by all. Yet, her family lived under a persistent shadow. Long ago, during a devastating famine, her mother had been accused of betraying the village, of hoarding food while others starved. No proof was ever found, but the accusation clung to them like dust from the dry season, a shame that never quite faded. Lakato was a young warrior in training, his body honed by discipline, his spirit forged in the fires of tradition. A was strong respected, and the son of Elder Aloitap, one of the most powerful and unyielding voices in the village council. From the moment he could walk, Lakato had been taught that duty to the clan, to the ancestors, came before any personal desire. His path was set, his future clear, to become a leader and a guardian of their ancient ways. Their paths first crossed by chance beneath the great acacia tree. Nayani was gathering herbs near its roots. Lakato was seeking shade after a long day of training. A simple greeting, a shared moment of silence in the afternoon heat. But soon, these chance meetings became deliberate choices. They found themselves drawn back to the same spot day after day. Beneath the tree's protective branches, a world away from the judging eyes of the village, they talked. They shared quiet conversations that soon blossomed into something far deeper, something raw and vulnerable. They spoke of dreams they had never dared to voice to anyone else. Najani dreamed of a day when her family's name would be cleared, when she could practice her healing without the weight of suspicion. Lakato confessed his own hidden fears to immense pressure to live up to his father's expectations. The silent questions he had about the rigid traditions that governed their lives. In this secret world they had created, they fell in love. It was a love as natural and powerful as the rains that nourished the savannah, a bond that felt blessed by the very earth beneath their feet. But they both knew their love was forbidden. It wasn't long before whispers started to circulate, carried on the wind like seeds of doubt. A shared glance held too long, a secret smile, a pattern of disappearances in the afternoon. The rumors of their bond eventually reached the elders, and the village reacted not with understanding, but with anger and deep-seated fear. Nayani's bloodline was the problem. The old, unproven accusation against her mother made her an unsuitable match for the son of a powerful elder. The elders warned Lakato in stern, unforgiving tones. Marrying her, they claimed, would be an act of defiance. It would dishonor his family, tarnish his future, and weaken the sacred traditions that held their people together. The shame of her family would become his. Lakato's father, Elder Alotop, was furious. He saw his son's love for Najani, not as a matter of the heart, but as a betrayal of his duty. He gave Lakato a brutal choice: abandon Najani and walk the path of a warrior and leader, or lose his place in the clan, his family, and his honor forever. The tension in the village was thick enough to choke on. And in this climate of fear and suspicion, a jealous rival saw his opportunity. Another young warrior, who had long envied Lakato's strength and standing, decided to twist the knife. He resurrected the old whispers and added a new, venomous lie. He claimed he had proof that Nayani's family had not just hoarded food, but had deliberately poisoned sacred cattle during the famine, a crime so heinous it would justify immediate exile. The lie spread like a wildfire across the dry plains. It took root in the fertile ground of old suspicions, feeding the village's fear and turning everyone against Nayani and her family. The calls for their banishment grew louder each day. Caught between the woman he loved and the loyalty he had been raised to uphold, Lakato hesitated. He saw the anger in his father's eyes, heard the condemnation of the elders, and felt the weight of his entire lineage on his shoulders. The fear of losing everything: his family, his future, his identity as a warrior, paralyzed him. And in that moment of crippling doubt, he made his choice: a walk it away. Beneath the ancient acacia tree, where their love had first bloomed, Nayani stood alone. She watched him leave, his back turned to her, and her heart shattered under the unbearable weight of betrayal. The tree that had once sheltered their dreams now bore silent witness to her solitary pain. As the elders gathered to formally pronounce the sentence of exile, a figure stepped forward from the crowd. It was Nayani's mother. After years of silent suffering, she would be silent no more. She walked with quiet dignity to the center of the gathering, directly beneath the acacia tree, and she began to speak. Her voice, though soft, carried with the force of a storm. She had never betrayed the village. The truth, she revealed, was far more painful. The real betrayal had been committed by a different elder, a powerful man who had feared losing his influence during the chaos of the famine. He had stolen the grain and let her take the blame, using her family as a scapegoat to secure his own power. And she had proof. "Beneath the roots of this very tree," she declared, "is a beaded charm hidden long ago. It was given to me by the elder's wife, who could not bear the guilt. It will prove my innocence." A stunned silence fell over the village. Warriors began to dig frantically at the base of the tree. And there, buried in the dark earth, they found it a distinctive beaded charm, recognized immediately as belonging to the accused elder's family. The truth washed over the village like a flood, cleansing the years of lies. The lie collapsed, and in its place, shame bloomed on the faces of those who had been so quick to condemn. Anger turned to remorse. Lekato, witnessing it all, felt his world crumble. The tradition he had chosen over love was built on a lie. He pushed through the crowd and fell to his knees before Najani. His head bowed. He confessed his cowardice, his failure to trust her, and the fear that had made him betray their love. He asked for her forgiveness, his voice choked with regret. The elders, humbled and shamed, officially lifted the curse they had placed on the Yanni's family. Tradition had been challenged, but it had not been destroyed. Instead, it had been reshaped and strengthened by the purifying power of truth. As the sun rose the next morning, casting its golden light across the savannah, Nayani and Lekato stood together once more beneath the acacia tree. They were not secret lovers anymore, but a public symbol of a new beginning, testament to courage, healing, and a love that was finally rooted, not in secret whispers, but in unshakable honesty. Their story became a new legend, whispered not of curses, but of a love strong enough to bring truth into the light. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more tales from around the world. See you next time.